You guys, there's been some pretty intense stuff the last couple of days, and I'm appreciative of it because I needed that. I needed to be checked hardcore. You see, I teach parents and other people in my practice that things that other people say are never about us. It's always about them. But that doesn't mean it doesn't apply to us. And if we hear something that somebody else says that feels like it applies to us, we should feel free to own it and make whatever changes are necessary. That's what happened with Derek's message yesterday about dogs and zombies. I've been lazy. As Nako would say, the dead won't dance to a liar's message. So honesty is the most important part of exposing and learning truth, right? Because otherwise it's not truth. So I've been struggling a lot lately. My fasts are off. I'm not sleeping well. I still struggle to read. Just everything's off. I've had family in the house, and I have a million excuses why it's better that I learn to bond and be with family than it is to take a chance on upsetting them and focusing. All just a bunch of excuses. All of it. Because I'm struggling to split my attention between the land and the sea, so to speak. And this is good for me to learn how to do that, but I'm failing at it miserably. And I was recognizing that, but I didn't know what to do. And then I was doubting myself. I'm like, oh no, I'm not. It's not. It's everybody. It's not me. It doesn't matter. We're all struggling. I'm no different than anybody else. I'm not really taking any ownership at all. And I was in need of something to shake me out of that. And Derek's message yesterday was what Father used for that. Now I say Father for comfort purposes because we're all learning here, and none of us really know everything there is to know yet. And some of us know things on different levels than others. And I say things that make other people kind of go, "What? She don't get it." And maybe I do, and maybe I don't. But that's really, it's between me and Father, right? So if I say things or terms that make you go, she may not get it, don't worry about me. This isn't about me. This is about using things that are comfortable and recognizable and familiar to the people that are trying to learn. And that is how I'm phrasing everything. It's for you. So honesty has been very important, and I needed to come to you first and foremost with, I have been lazy and I have not been doing you the best service that I could had I been being more diligent and focused on my work. And I am sorry for that. That was not acceptable. And I owe you an apology for that. I'm sorry. I will do better. In fact, I already fixed my plan and put it in place, and I'm doing better already. I don't mess around. It's like, fix that right now. Done. If that fix doesn't work, we'll fix it again and again and again until we get the fix that works. And now I want to tell you, I don't think I ever told you the story about the homeless man in the parking lot at the health food store. I think it was before this channel, which this channel's a fiasco of its own, right? I don't know how I'm going to fix the mess I've created here. I might just go with it. Anything I try to fix myself, I'm going to mess it up anyway. And since I haven't been directed or compelled to fix anything, just leave it alone, right? So there was a incident a few months back. I rolled into the health food store here in town. I've gone to since it opened, and I've known the owners for my whole life. So I'm comfortable there, and I trust their products. And, it's good value and honest business with good products. And as I was pulling in, voice said, give that man $20. And there was a man and his cart full of things and a couple little dogs. And he was looking very frail and very weak that day. And it was very hot. It was still in the summer when this happened. It was really hot, and he was sweaty and looking for a place in the shade. And he was really shaky. And I was told, give him $20. And I didn't stop. I was like, oh, I'll do it on my way out. And off I went into the store, not even realizing what I had just done in that moment, that I was supposed to do something and I hadn't done it. And I'm in the store and just lauded on around, taking my time. I'm not even really in a hurry, to the point that I had forgotten about that man. and I had forgotten that I was supposed to give him some money. And I'm going through the store, and there's a couple things I get for myself occasionally as treats. And I was picking those up that day. One of them is this really wonderful tea, and another one is this really healthy aloe vera beverage. And I was grabbing one of each, and I was compelled to grab two. So I did. And on my way out, it occurred to me that I hadn't given that man money. And I was like, oh no, I hadn't done it. Okay, I got to do that on the way out. Well, I get out and he's not there. I was devastated, y'all. Devastated he wasn't there. And I hadn't done what I was supposed to do. And I quickly asked, can we find him? And I was directed to right where he was at. And as I was approaching him, I had one of each of the beverages in my hand, and I knew I was supposed to give them to him. And as I was approaching him, he got very uncomfortable and uncertain, almost fearful, and started making excuses for where he was and why he was there and that he would move on. And I just gave him the two beverages and told him he's loved today and that he matters and to please know that he's important. And then I gave him the $20. And as I turned to walk away, he just started yelling out and hollering about how I had just saved his life today. And he'd had some pretty significant medical stuff going on and had recently come out of the hospital with no place to go. And he was in a pretty fragile and weakened state. And I had given him something that he considered would save his life, which was two very healthy beverages and a $20 bill. And he kept hollering out that I was an angel and I'd saved his life. And I didn't even know what to think, y'all. I was beside myself with his response, because I've given people stuff before. Now, I'd never done it in this manner, but I'd given people stuff before without such an effusive response. And it occurred to me that he needed a place to live, and I was going to find him the next day and see if I could help him get some housing in the community, get him off the street, and I couldn't find him. And I've looked for him on many occasions, and I couldn't find him. And today, I was in the office, and I don't go in there very often, but, occasionally I have to go in there. And one of our coworkers made Halloween-themed desserts. And I'm trying to fast, and I'm failing. I'll start over again tomorrow. And I always fail on a fast when I go in the office, because there's always something in there that's chocolatey and sweet, and I'm overwhelmed in the environment, and I get weak, and I give in, and I fail. It happens regularly. Well, it happened. I reached out and I grabbed that cupcake and I picked it up and I didn't even think about it. And then it occurred to me and I was like, oh great, every time I try and fast, I come in this office and I fail. And I kept the cupcake. And I intended to eat it. Oh, I was going to eat every bite of that chocolate yummy cupcake. You can bet I was. And I've got my stuff gathered up over my arm. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Father, I failed. I'm going to eat this cupcake and I will start over tomorrow. And I hit the door, and as I'm going around the corner heading to my car, I look up to greet the gentleman that is approaching me on the sidewalk. You know where I'm going with this, don't you? There he was. All these months I'd been looking for him. And there he was again, walking up the sidewalk with his basket and his little puppies. I nodded my greeting, and he nodded in return, and I kept walking, and I stopped. No, I didn't get to eat that cupcake. And I returned, and I went back, and I gave it to him, and I said, here, this is for you. I hope you have a good holiday week, and know that you're loved today and that you matter. And he reached out with a shaking hand, and he took that cupcake, and he smiled, and he said, thank you so much. It's his birthday tomorrow, pointing to one of his dogs as he scooped off part of the frosting and gave it to the dog. And I went off to my car knowing twice now that man has saved me from myself. And he thinks I saved him. Called me an angel again as he saved me. Right? Wow, y'all. I have trains run through my backyard. I don't know if I ever mentioned that to you before. So that was my blessing of the day, right? I still have two more families to see, but there he was again. saved my life again. So I'm supposed to talk about some stuff that makes me really uncomfortable because I don't like putting my personal business out into the world, especially to a bunch of strangers like yourselves, right? Don't get upset that I call you strangers because technically we kind of are, right? So I need to let it be known, ladies, that I will be at Monument Valley Expedition next month. Father has blessed me greatly with regards to equipment. So at my campsite, I will have plenty of room and plenty of love and a shower. And I've been told that I don't get to spend the whole time alone because that's not why I'm there. So if you find you want some companionship and you cross my path, please feel free to share a campsite with me. I look forward to meeting you at that time. So I'm going to go back to work now. Wasn't expecting to make you this video, and it's really choppy, and it is what it is. That's all I can do. It's for you. Maybe I'll post you a song later or something. Not that you can't find it yourself. Sometimes I just think about it, that's all. So, have a great weekend. And be safe out there. People are amping up for the whole Halloween thing. Never really been a fan. But it seems to be a big deal. So I'll talk to you some more later on. I love you. Have a great day.